if I could find something he's filmed, that would be great. It was absolutely fascinating because he found twins who were separated by continents. And
Yes.
he did not know it. He gave him a battery of tests. And it turned out the MBTI was very predictive of a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he found, I'm sure you know this, he found people who hung their keychain on the same belt buckle, packed their suitcases exactly alike,
Yes. Yes.
raised by different families, different cultures.
Uh-huh. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary. It
Um,
is nice to see you.
yeah, it's nice to see you.
Have you been in all the sessions, Marianne, or just the first and this one?
Oh, you're
Uh-oh.
muted. I'm gonna ask you to unmute yourself, Mary. There you go. Now we can hear you.
I missed the last one, and I don't know why.
The last one was, oh, you missed it. The voice activated devices.
I have a question before we start. Did you mute me again?
Yeah, your computer's a little bit low. It's just a little bit lower. You can increase the volume. We can hear you. You're a little bit lower. Hi, Ken.
Can I ask a question?
It's not
Yeah, you
Ken.
can ask a question.
Every once in a while, my phone gives me my data usage, and I don't know what to do with that information. Is it really
Okay, every once in a while your phone gives you data usage and you don't know what to do with it. Do you have a data plan that limits how much usage you can do on your phone?
I'm not sure.
I get that too, and I just ignore it because I don't have a limit. So I don't know why they think that's a cute thing to send us, but they send it anyway.
Because every once in a while, I'll clear up my phone calls, I'll clear up my threads on my texting, just so I don't have, to me, it's like clutter on my phone.
Yeah. The data usage, I think, has more to do with how much data you've used on the internet with your phone, not with your space on your phone. Okay.
Do you have unlimited data, Mary? Is it unlimited? Do you have unlimited data?
I'm not sure, I should probably check.
Yeah, I will call your phone company and find out. Maybe you don't, and it's just warning you, like, hey, you might be going over your data for the month. Maybe you have limited data. It could be something like that.
Thank you, I will find out.
Hi, Miss Smalls. Welcome.
Hi, Matt.
Yeah, Matt is here. Yeah, he's on. His camera's off. Hey, Matt, can you hear us? I know I see that you're here, but your camera is off. I just want to make sure.
Oh. Leon, I love your comment in chat. I would like to be in my
I know, I saw that too.
PJs as well.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you at all. All right, so, oh man, we got questions and comments rolling in off the bat. I like that. I would like to learn how to use my phone to read QR codes.
Oh. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. There you go, Melody. That's all you. QR code. Maybe Zach.
Who wants to know that? Oh, I see. I may have to call you later.
That's true.
Hmm.
I know. And Lillian, I'm right though with you. Lillian said, what are QR codes to begin with in the first place? Let's start from there.
Okay, so what are they?
Oh, I can unmute you. 1 second. I'm going to unmute you so you can speak. All right. All right, go ahead.
A QR code is this funny little square thing, like little dots of ink. And lots of places you go, there'll be a QR, like in a museum even, there'll be a QR code posted. And if you do something with your phone, you get more information. And sometimes they want you to use it to pay for parking.
Mhm.
And I know my phone should be capable of it, but I figure I need some kind of an app or something to be able to do it.
If you get, like I've gotten, there's a
Yes.
QR code.
Yeah.
This is a QR
So
code.
when I pay for parking in advance, I take my phone because they send me a confirmation. I take my phone and I let it scan my QR code to get into the parking garage. So a QR code scans for getting you into a garage. Probably you can use them for paying. I haven't done that. I've seen my credit card say I could do that, but I haven't. The place I've used QR codes the most is when I'm parking, because I love to be able just to let it scan it and I'm in, and when I'm ready to leave, it scans it and I'm back out.
Yep. Really convenient.
But I'll get you some more
Nice.
information on that. That's a good.
That's a good one.
thought.
Yeah.
Challenging me already, aren't we?
See? But this is good.
That's right.
We got lots of awesome questions today already.
We like it.
Good morning, Peggy. Good morning, Susan. I know we have a few people just rolled in here. Good morning, Matt.
Morning, everybody.
Good
Hi,
morning.
Matt.
Sorry, I was helping Marty with something. Marty's really not that good on his computer, so sometimes I have to help him with things.
I won't tell him you said that. How did your crime safety thing go last night?
You know, we had a little bit of a misstep. It was organized by the 22nd District CAPS office,
Uh-huh.
and the password they had was incorrect.
I know, I tried
No.
to get in.
They had asked me to, push this out, of which we pushed it out on through our email blast, through Twitter and Facebook. And so as you can imagine, at 10 to 6, I then was inundated with 30 emails saying, I'm trying to get in. So I'm trying to track down the police department to say, this is your baby. I'm getting the emails.
Yeah.
So I literally I'm on my cell phone responding to emails, and I've got my daughter helping me on the laptop at home, trying to get the new password out to as many people as we could. But you guys know, if you can't get it right away, you've moved on. So
Yeah. Well, I saved you from a couple of calls. A couple of people call me, I can't get in. What's the problem? I said, well, let me check. I said, I can't get in either. Just skip it. Maybe they're booked.
what's funny though, and you guys would appreciate this, so many of us never used Zoom before. And I've been a part of literally hundreds of meetings over the past 11 months because everything through the Chicago City Council is now on Zoom. And so periodically we will have, there'll be a password sent out for a meeting in 10 minutes. That's one digit off. So then you literally have 50 aldermen and staff all quickly responding like, I can't get in, I can't get in. So it's, And those of us with fat fingers typing on our cell phones, but I'm
I
excited about
haven't-
today.
Yeah.
Thanks again,
I
everybody.
haven't-
Really appreciate offering this for our seniors throughout the community.
Oh, not a problem. Hey, Melody, we have one more question in the chat box before we get started. So Lillian said, so our QR codes, is it connected to your bank account?
Not unless you're using a QR code from your bank. If I buy, like I use Park Quiz every once in a while, or what's the other one? Hero,
Spot Hero?
Spot Hero.
Mhm.
So if I buy a parking spot using my Discover card or my bank account, all I get back is a confirmation that I've purchased a spot with a QR code. So that doesn't tie back to my bank at all. It's just evidence that I have paid and have a spot to park. So my QR code gets me in and out of the garage. It doesn't do anything with my bank. Now, I'll do my homework. I'm almost positive your credit cards can use QR codes these days. I haven't done that. I haven't used it for debit cards. But I'm going to get an answer to some of that and send it to you after the meeting.
There you go. Great questions, everyone. Again, please
Yeah.
drop your questions and comments in the chat and we'll definitely be addressing them. I love this. You're welcome, Lillian. And welcome, Nancy. Good morning.
Shall we give people a couple more minutes?
Yeah, it's about 10:29 right now, so.
Okay.
Did you guys get a lot of snow in Beverly the day before yesterday? I know it snowed a little bit in the city.
It wasn't as big a storm as, had been predicted. But Marianne and Melody, you'll appreciate that. Now, the first decent snowfall of every year, it's as if no one's ever driven in snow before.
Oh, I know.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah, traffic was backed up on the expressway. Even this morning, I'm like, what is happening? Like the snow is already shoveled, salt's been laid, and we're still driving like it's, I don't know, a blizzard outside.
Well, my snow blower would not start. So I'm very mad at it right now. And I've got to see if I can get it fixed before Sunday because we're supposed to get another one. But my wonderful neighbors south of me saw me start to shovel and said, oh, no, we don't want you doing that. So they came out and did my driveway. Hold on. I thought I'd turn that off. They came out and did my driveway and my walk and my front porch. I think I'll milk being old as long as I can.
Hey, you pay your dues. Why not? Why not? Do you have an electric one or a gas one? Your snowblower.
It's gas and it's a big Cub Cadet honker that everybody says to me, do I need a commercial license to drive it? Because I can take it down the sidewalk and clear my sidewalk in one pass. That's how big this thing is. It'll hold, it'll move 23 inches of snow. It has 4 forward gears, 2 reverse gears, worm handles.
Wow.
Lights, so if I want to snowblow late.
You have the
night,
Bentley of snow blowers, for crying out loud.
Melody, I've got to see a picture or video of you operating this bad boy.
Yeah, please.
Oh, Matt, you know Tracy Laverty, right?
Yes.
So 2 winters ago, after I got it, I was cleaning the whole sidewalk for everybody. And so Tracy saw me coming down the sidewalk and she yells, Chuck, come here. Look, you got to see what Melody has. Come here right now. I hope she comes down here. You have to get used to driving it because if you don't let go soon enough, It was.
Yeah, you could take out a small family, I'm guessing.
Would you ever? And I wouldn't put it in the sixth gear. A friend of mine did, and he had to take off running with it. I said, okay, I think the sixth gear is for when the snow is about 23 inches deep.
Yeah. Forget the bending. You
I'll
have
send you a
like
picture of me
Ferrari
behind it.
snow blowers. Wow.
It is. I got so tired of having to do 10 million passes on my driveway. And with this thing, I can do my 100-foot driveway in 2 passes.
Yep. And you save your back from the pain. Lillian's dropped something in the chat. She said, I want to thank the wonderful person that cleared my sidewalk and driveway for me. My husband's 73 years old and I didn't want him to do it. That was nice of your neighbor, Lillian. That was really sweet. Yeah, we don't want people to be out there. Well, we can get started whenever you're ready. We're at 10:33.
Okay.
We have a little bit of a good group so far.
Okay, Matt, you're up.
I'm up. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Hello. My name is Matt O'Shea. I'm proud to serve as your 19th Ward Alderman. Welcome to our 4th of 5 online sessions in the Smart Tech Seniors 3.0 series. Today's topic is applications or apps, and these can make your life a whole lot easier. There are so many great options, including our own City of Chicago app, Chai 311, that'll give you quick access to various city services. It's my pleasure to thank our trainer, Melody Camp, who lives right here in Beverly. Many of you have already benefited from her expertise during our first 3 classes. She's the owner of Smart Computing Incorporated, offering computer services and consulting here in the community since 1990. I hope that you'll ask her any questions that you may have. You may add your questions anytime using the chat feature. Also, at the end of today's session, Melody will unmute everybody and you may ask a question out loud. She's here to help, folks. BAPA Executive Director Mary Jo Viero and I organized Smart Tech Seniors 3.0. We're joined by our Illinois State Senator, Bill Cunningham, our Illinois State Representatives, Kelly Burke and Fran Hurley, and our friends from both Mercy Circle and Smith Village as our co-sponsors. Recordings of all of these classes are on the website. Copies of Melody's presentations, including her helpful hints, can be downloaded and printed from there as well. Just visit the19thward.com or BAPA.org anytime. Today's presentation will be posted before the end of the week, and please share these tools with any of your friends or neighbors who may not have been able to join us this morning. Be sure to visit the website where you registered to learn more about our final class about safety and security, which will be offered on February 1st. Now, there's a couple sample questions for you guys to consider when we open things up, and I'll just kind of run through a few of them. I have some apps on my phone that I never use. How can I delete them? I find myself trying to figure that out frequently, folks. Some apps seem to have a free version and a paid version. What's the difference? Are there any apps that pose a security risk? Should I be cautious? And there are apps that I should avoid. I'm interested in apps to help me manage my medications. Are there some that you recommend? I enjoy word puzzles. Are there apps with good word games? Folks, those are just a few for you to consider, but please take advantage of Melody's expertise. And I just want to thank everybody again for being a part of our Smart Tech Senior 3.0 series. Take it away, Melody.
Okay, thank you. Let me share my screen. Let me do this. Okay. I decided to pick categories when looking at this, and I think the things that Matt brought up, I'm going to be answering a lot of those questions as we go through this, but going to look at the neighborhood, medical apps, shopping apps, cooking apps, delivery, financial, and then entertainment. And then I have a general category we'll cover. By the way, in the email reminder you got this morning, I added a link to my handout so that if you wanted to print it and take notes, you could. I had 2 or 3 people ask me to do that. So I don't know if you checked your reminder this morning and printed it out, but I know a lot of people, I've found when I teach, a lot of people like my handouts ahead of time. So I thought we'd try it this time. So for the neighborhood, Matt already mentioned Shy 311, and I have used that. I find it very convenient, and I find the city to be very responsive. So that's a good one. So you, just a reminder, you use Play Store to get to all these apps that you maybe don't have. There are other specific apps for Chicago if you want to just search City of Chicago in the Play Store. The 19th Ward and BAPA do not have an app, but they have a lot of valuable information. So I just wanted to remind you that the 19thwardmobile.com is a great place to go, and BAPA.org. And again, you've attended my previous sessions, you know that the Play Store is where we get our apps. And the Play Store has an icon like this. So let's look at medical apps. MediSafe is one I have used now for a year and a half maybe. I absolutely love it. I put in what meds I need to take at 9 a.m. and at 9 p.m. And so it jiggles like a pill bottle to remind me it's time to take my pills. And when it's time to refill, I get a reminder that I need to refill. And so you can enter your how many pills you have, and it'll keep track of it and remind you. So it's a great little app because I can get busy and forget that I need to take pills. So MediSafe, I have absolutely loved. Now, you can measure things like your EKG, heart rate, blood pressure, how you sleep. I had a very mild stroke in November of 2019. So I bought a little thing that's about 3 inches long and 1 inch wide called the Cardio Mobile. And so I can check my EKG anytime I want to. So I can put my 4 fingers down on it and it maps it out. I took it to my doctor and it looked exactly like his. So it's a nice little tool if you want to track whether you maybe have AFib or tachycardia or bradycardia. I have a smartwatch that's Android based that does my heart rate for me, does my blood pressure, and gives me a readout on how well I sleep, how much deep sleep I got, how much light sleep, how wakeful I was, and then on a scale up to 100%, how well did you sleep? So my target is always to be in the 95 to 100, which I do pretty well with, I think. My chart, any of you who have a portal to your doctor or to a health system like Advocate or Rush or the University of Chicago, I think they're all powered by a company called Epic Systems. And I'm always accessing those on my smartphone. They have an app for those. GoodRx, I have looked at, I have not used. It's an app that will let you check the price of your prescriptions it'll go out and research and come back and tell you where the best price is for your prescriptions. The red panic button, it could be a substitute for the alert system some people wear around their neck, because you can have the red panic button, and if you set it off, it sends a message to people you've identified should know that you are in trouble and need help. And then there are information services that I use, like WebMD and Mayo Clinic. There are a couple others that I've found that I really liked. One's on comparing or looking at prescription interactions or medication interactions. And if I can find them, I will send those out in an update with my handout. So there are tons of apps out there. I'm just giving you kind of an overview, but you can go into the Play Store and search for prescription apps, measuring vital sign apps. You'll find just tons of them. Everything I've talked about here so far has been free, except for the KardioMobile. I obviously had to buy that for measuring my EKG. So then I say, let's protect our essential workers and shop online. I haven't been in a grocery store since March. So who's online with apps? A lot of the grocery stores are Whole Foods, Mariano's, Sam's Club, Jewel, all the big stores are, Aldi's is online. Home improvement stores are online. Well, I'll back up to grocery stores a minute. What I have done mostly is, and we'll talk about that shortly, shopped online and had my groceries delivered. A few times when I just wanted to get out of the house, I've shopped online, told them I'll pick it up, and I go and there's a slot. They send me a text message to let them know when I've arrived. So when I arrive, I park in a slot like number 5 and tell them I've arrived, and they will come out and put the groceries in the back of my car. The same is true for Home Depot. I do a lot of things around my house. So what I've tended to do is order online and either have it delivered, or if I was in urgent need of something, I would, as soon as they had it ready for me, I would go park in a pickup spot and they would bring it to me. Pharmacies, I've had one experience which was really excellent. I needed something from Walgreens. I ordered online. They, again, asked me to let them know when I was there. I got there and they brought my order out to me. Okay, seriously, let someone else cook. I know that's not an option for everybody, but I like to try to support the restaurants in the neighborhood, so I oftentimes order and pick up curbside. Ken's on Western reminded me the other day that they will deliver, and I said, well, I just need to get out of the house sometime, so if you'll bring it to me at the car, I'm happy to come pick it up. And I take advantage of drive-thrus. I have a Buona Beef app on my phone. So if it's 7 o'clock at night and I haven't cooked and I've still been working and David says, I'm really hungry, what are you going to feed me? I will oftentimes just sign on to Buona Beef, order, and by the time I get in the car and go over there, it's ready. So I just drive up to the window and they hand it to me and I'm out. Then you can go to, if you're going to cook for yourself, there are lots of great apps on your phone or on the computer, on anything really. But I noticed Epicurious has some apps by country, like Epicurious Canada. So if you're interested in a particular country cuisine, you might check that out. I use all recipes a lot, so I find myself in the kitchen and I'm thinking, what do I want to make? So I'll pull up all recipes and see if there's something interesting I want to do. And This time of year, it seems a lot of people are talking about watching their weight. So I took a look at apps for managing your food when you're trying to lose weight. So Keto's got an app out there, Carb Manager, Atkins, the Mediterranean Plan. I'm sure Weight Watchers does as well. I did not go to every single possibility. And then a friend of mine loves using Pinterest to find good recipes. And then she'll save them so she can reuse them. Now here my message is, let's help keep our neighbors employed. So I told you that I've had since March my groceries delivered most of the time. So I use InstaCart. And I have had very good luck with Instacart. So I've got an image of Instacart, my Instacart app over here. And you can see some of the things I've ordered if you look closely from Mariana's and Sam's Club. They go and they shop it for me. They text me if there's something not in stock that I want and ask me about substitutions, and then deliver it right to the door. So I found that to be, I'm kind of spoiled now. I don't like grocery shopping to begin with. So even after the pandemic's over, I may find myself letting someone else shop for me. I'm getting very spoiled by this. I don't know how many of you have used like Uber Eats or DoorDash or GrubHub to get food delivered. I have several friends who've used all of them. I have not done that. I usually try to save the restaurants paying that fee. So I try to go pick my stuff up. But if you can't, these are great alternatives for having food delivered. Now, financial apps. I do this all the time. I scan my deposits for the banks that we have accounts with. And so I never have to go into the bank to make a deposit. So I scan it. One of the things I really like about that is I get to hold on to the check that I've scanned so that if something goes wrong, I've got a copy of the a copy of the check. I've used that a lot. I've also used Zelle to send money. Two of my banks I bank with have Zelle as their app for sending money. So I have wonderful neighbors, Tracy Laverty being one of them, who will say, I'm going to such and such, can I pick something up for you? So if somebody picks something up for me when they go to the grocery store, they get back and I send them the money for it via Zelle. So it's a great way to pay people or to get money from people if you run errands for them. Some friends don't use Zelle, they use PayPal. So I use PayPal a lot. And then investment companies also have apps, whether it's Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab, Merrill Lynch. I can't imagine that there isn't anyone who doesn't. Now you notice I haven't talked about Mint yet. Mint is an app where you can have it aggregate your bills and your bank accounts all in one spot and keep you alerted to your balances or when a bill is due, etc. I am sure there are a lot of people who use it. I am a little conservative when it comes to this. I don't particularly want an application like that to have all the information about me. So I would rather go to the individual banks and have a separate password for each one of those banks and go to the investment companies. It's a little bit more work, but it's just, in my mind, it's protection for me. I haven't heard of any problems with Mint, so I'm not making a statement about that. I'm just telling you something that I personally am careful of. And on the right, you'll see I've got an image of sending money with Zelle. Or you can request money from a friend. Then we get to some of the fun stuff. And on the first column, I have things I would consider to be more passive, like listening to the news or watching the news or listening to music, reading, watching TV. On the right-hand side, I have some of the places you can do that. NPR One has an app. TuneIn is an app that lets you tune into like 60,000 stations, I think, to listen to new radio stations, to listen to news or music or something like a podcast. So there's a possibility. Libby is a app that will let you tie into your libraries for hearing books. So audio book listing. I'm sure most of you know about iBook and Kindle for those apps for getting books. Lumosity, I tried for a while. A lot of people like it. I just gave up on it. And Librivos audiobooks is another place where you can, it's apps for listening to books and for free. Most everything I'm telling you about is free. There are apps you can pay for, but I'm kind of of the opinion if I get it free, I'm going to. Then when you really want to relax your brain, I'm hooked on a few things. Almost every night when I go to bed, I either work a jigsaw puzzle on my tablet or my iPhone, or I do Sudokus, or I do Mahjong. But there are also words with friends. I have a lot of friends who love word with friends. Word brain. Let's Create Pottery is kind of an interesting one. That's where you can, the app will let you virtually throw clay onto a clay, what do they call it? I'm having a brain moment. Anyway, you form a piece of art virtually out of virtual clay. Elevate brain training is similar to Lumosity. So it really keeps you kind of on your toes with your brain with puzzles and things you could do. I haven't tried that one yet. I plan to because I love things that kind of keep me healthy, keep my brain working. Now here's some general ones I found that I thought you might find interesting. There's one called Big Launcher, and I've got that over here on the right. And it will increase the size of your icons on your phone or tablet. And I know for David, I'm going to put this on his phone because he has trouble seeing the small icons. So Big Launcher will increase the size of your icons. Big Buttons Keyboard will do just what it says. You can choose Big Buttons as your keyboard default, and the buttons will be bigger. And you know, a lot of people talk about how difficult it is to maneuver those keyboards that are so small. Magnifying glass with light, that's pretty self-evident, so that, you know, a lot of the print can be very small. So this app will turn a flashlight on and magnify it for you if you want to read something larger. Find My Phone has saved me a time or two. One night I could not find my phone and I put it in sleep mode like at 10 o'clock so that I don't hear it ring. But I was panicked about where it was. I thought maybe I dropped it outside. So I used Find My Phone on my tablet, and pretty soon I heard my phone ringing. So I found my phone buried underneath something on my desk. AARP has a lot of good information. TeamViewer, I use TeamViewer with clients because I support everybody pretty much remotely these days. So if somebody's got a computer problem, I sign onto their computer and help them with it remotely. So you can also have this on your phone. So if you've got young people in your life who are really good with tech, you can put TeamViewer on your phone and then let them have access to it, help you with it. It has saved me during this pandemic because I think I've only been to 2 customers once. I've only been out to customers twice since March. Most of the things I can solve online. I couldn't solve installing a printer, so I had to go there. So that's another good app. Skitty app lets you search for discounts in your neighborhood for people who are 50 and older. So if you're looking for an app that might help you with discounts, Skitty would be a good one. Here are some of the articles I found that helped me shape this presentation. 6 great smartphone apps for seniors, senior citizen apps, best mobile apps for healthy social seniors, and use these apps to make Android easier for senior citizens. So these all have hyperlinks to a website, so I'll be sharing those with you as well. So I think we can unmute at this point and we'll play Stump the Trainer, and I'm sure you're going to be able to do it. I'm just going to say there are thousands of apps out there, just thousands. And what I tend to try to do is, if I'm thinking about an app, I try to go find a review and see what people are saying about it before I download it, or I ask somebody I trust. So let me stop my share. Okay. Torna, do you want to unmute everybody?
Yep, everyone should be able to unmute themselves at this point.
Okay.
So, yeah, I need to put in some questions. I know one question that was not necessarily directly linked to what you presented on, but that came up. I believe it was from Peggy. Let me just go back to the chat. Will you be sending out a summary by email after class?
I send out my handouts after class, and what I did last time, if people had questions, I added at the end of my slides some slides with responses to the questions. So anything that comes up today, I may modify my slides and then I'll send them with the modifications.
Awesome. Yeah, feel free to dump any questions you might have in the chat, or you can verbalize them since most people are.
On the team viewer, does the other person have to have that also?
Yes. Yes. But it's free for personal use. So for me, because I've got a corporate account, so I use my corporate account to sign on to my corporate clients or my individual clients. But it's free on your phone, and yes, the other person has to have it. And basically, you give them an ID and a password, and if you give them the password for that one session, it goes away after that session, so they can't get back in again. So that's something that's important to know.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Susan.
I think Matt has a question. Are there any apps that can cause a security risk?
I think any can if you're not careful and if you don't use good strong passwords. The one app I didn't tell you about that I used all the time is called Dashlane. There's iPass, there's LastPass. No, there's LastPass, Dashlane, and I think there's one other. And it keeps track of my passwords. I do not have two same passwords for anything. And that's for me a security issue. So every single place I go to has a different password, but Dashlane keeps track of it. Dashlane encrypts it as it goes to the cloud and encrypts it as it comes back down. By encrypting it, that means that the password can't be stolen in transmission from my computer to Dashlane's or LastPass, whoever we use. I started that a number of years ago. I used to be as bad as everybody else and use the same password over and over and over. And I thought, if one of my accounts gets hacked, they may get into several. So I just literally, and I couldn't tell you what my password is because I let Dashlane assign it, and it's about 20 characters long. I can look at it. I can copy it and paste it in if I need to. But I think the biggest thing security-wise is protecting yourself with good, strong passwords, not duplicating passwords. The next session is going to be on safety, so there's going to be a lot of good stuff there. But I'll just tell you, last week I got an email from, I'll say Experian in quotes, saying that my Social Security number had been breached. And I'm such a skeptical person. Emails to me just are an alert that it may be really from Experian, it may not be. So I called Experian. No, it wasn't from Experian, it was from Discover Card. So I called Discover Card. And they put me in, and it really was from them. So they put me in touch with Experian. And since that was on a Monday, and Experian told me that starting on Friday, they started getting calls like mine all the time, that people's Social Security numbers had been breached. So they could tell me that it was in Michigan. They could give me the name of the person who had it. The thing that they reassured me about is that if that person tried to use my Social Security number, they couldn't because it wouldn't match their name.
Nearby?
This would be,
Okay, I have some on the front porch.
the risk would be if somebody could figure out who that Social Security number belonged to, then they could try to steal my identity. So I went out immediately and made sure I still had a freeze at all three credit bureaus. And I have done that since that, which one was it that had the problems? The credit bureau, one of the three had the big breach. And once that happened, I went out and froze my credit on all of them so that Social Security number being out there may be a result of that breach, because usually these bad guys wait a couple of years and figure you've forgotten it and then they go after you. Anyway, that's probably more than you wanted to know, but it's just important to be careful with emails and apps and passwords and make sure you're getting stuff from the right place and etc. So that's a prelude to next month's session.
Yeah. One of the things that you mentioned was InstaCart, and that's one of the apps that people can utilize during this time of being in the pandemic, in ordering groceries. What are some policy around COVID-19 that Instacart maybe that you might be aware that they're taking precaution? Obviously, you have people who are tampering with your food, they're buying your groceries. Have you looked into safety measures that they're taking on their end to ensure that groceries are being delivered in a safe manner?
When my groceries have been delivered, I've had them leave them on the front porch, but I have cameras and they always have masks on, which I think is good. Many of them have had gloves on. For the first 3 months, I would take Clorox cleaner and wash everything down before I brought it into the house. I'm not doing that anymore. I mean, I think that was overkill, but it's me. What can I say? So I think they are taking the right precautions. I was very concerned initially because I thought, boy, the people who are doing this shopping are some of the most vulnerable in our population. And that made me feel kind of guilty, be asking someone who's vulnerable to be doing my shopping for me. Then the other side of it was, if they're careful and wearing their mask, then this is a way they can continue to make a living and feed their family. So it was always kind of a trade-off in my head as to whether I should do this or not. And I've chatted with a few of them, and some of them lost their jobs, and this is what they're doing while they're out of work. So I felt very comfortable with it so far.
Okay. That's good. And again, if you have any questions, you can definitely state your question for those who are off mute. You can drop it in the box. Lillian just sent something in the chat. She said, on grocery shopping, I like to see what I'm buying. Have you ever been disappointed in the quality you received?
I have not been. The only goof I had one time was I wanted a small, you know, those like 3-pound pork tenderloins. I wanted one of those, and the guy came with a 12-pound huge pork tenderloin. So pork loin, it wasn't a pork tenderloin, it was a pork loin. So I ended up just cutting it up into 4 pieces and put it in my freezer, and I'm fine, you know, so be it, right? But other than that, people have been very good, and people have been excellent. Sometimes I've had them text me and say, you know, this doesn't look so good. You really want me to get it? And I'll say, no, don't bother. So I've been happy with my shoppers. And I just don't have to look at things. Some people I know do. I have friends who could not let somebody else shop for them. Me, I don't have to look at it. I know
Because you do the selection right in the app. I believe that's how it works, where you select the specific items that you're looking for, and they go ahead and pick that out for you.
Right, exactly. And while they're shopping, you can see what they've picked up already. You can see what they've still got to pick up. The only good I've ever had is one time I had them shopping for me, and I had a meeting, and they were trying to text me about some changes they needed to make, but I was facilitating a meeting. So that was pretty stupid on my part, that I did not arrange it so that they would be shopping at a time that I would be available to answer their questions.
Fantastic. Oh, Lillian just dropped another question. By the way, Lillian, I put you off mute. I know you don't want to be seen, but if you want to be heard, I can definitely put that in there. And Eric too as well. I just asked on mute you if you guys want to just speak your question. It'll be easier. And it'll be nice to hear your voices. So go ahead, Lillian. You can ask your second.
Okay, great, thank you. It was one of the questions that the Alderman proposed at the beginning of the session. How can we delete apps that we didn't ask for, they just appeared? And one other thing, my phone, when I turn it on, the light goes out like after 5 seconds. I have to keep pushing the little button for the light to come on. Is there a way to keep that light on for a little while, or does it just have to go off if I'm not using the phone?
No, I think you can set the sleeper on it. Which phone do you have?
I've got the Galaxy, whatever. I'd have to.
It's a Samsung?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm writing these things down. I'm going to send you instructions on how to delete apps. That'll be one thing. And 2, how to change the sleep time on your phone.
Great. Thank you.
Okay.
Eric, you wanted to state your question? I got you off mute so you can.
Yes, I'd also like to hear about, how to get a little less sleep time, or rather a little, maybe I'm saying it wrong, more sleep time. The problem of the light going out quickly when I push the side button. The question I put there in chat though was, I've had a Motorola for years, but just recently I got a Samsung, and they said that there was going to be a new version of Android 11, I think it was, that was going to soon arrive. Have you heard anything about that? Does everybody but me have that already? Android 11.
Are you talking about the operating system or the phone?
Correct, of the operating system. I'm sorry.
Okay. I don't know. I tend to update my operating systems as soon as I get a notice that there's a new operating system. So I haven't checked to see if I have 11 yet. But like I say, if they notify me that there's a new operating system, I update it. Does that help, Eric?
Yeah, well, I would update mine if they would send it to me, but I thought maybe it was a case where, kind of unexpected delays. One of the practical questions that came up is having to do with Metra tickets. And I heard that new version of Metra needed Android 11 to operate.
Okay,
Can you check that out?
I will check that
But in
out.
order to take the Metra, they're saying you need to have Android 11. Can you unpack that a little bit for me, Eric?
Say again.
Can you unpack that question or statement about Metra ticket?
Yes, I'm used to going over there and getting my Metra ticket on my phone and just showing it my phone to the conductor when I'm riding into town. But they said they had a new version from Ventra, but they said it was complicated enough that it needed Android 11 to operate. And so without Android 11, I'm coins out of my pocket or something, I guess. I don't know. I haven't actually done it. So
I see what you're saying. Okay, let me check that out, and let me check out and see if I'll see what version I have on my phone, and then I'll see how you get the 11 operating.
It seemed funny to me that Ventra would go ahead and require Android 11 if everybody didn't already have it. That seemed very kind of counterintuitive or whatever to me. But
no, that's not real smart in my mind, unless 11
anyway.
Unless 11 is just there for anybody and everybody to get easily.
Yeah. I guess they're trying to get ahead of the curve.
Yep.
No, great questions. That's a really good question. Another question that Melody that comes up is you mentioned a few of the apps that have free books. Now, are you saying to download the app is free, or are you saying to download the app as well as to read the books on the apps are free? Are the books free?
A lot of those apps that I mentioned usually connect to your library, and you use your library card, and then you can listen to books for free.
Oh, wow.
Now, there's Audible, which you can pay for, which is, that it reads you books. But the two that I mentioned absolutely will connect you to your library, and then you can listen to books from your library for free.
Oh, wow. Your local library.
Yeah.
I got to renew my library card then.
As you do.
I didn't realize that. Wow. That's a great resource.
This is Eric again. I get some from the Beverly branch over there, and they don't have every single book obviously in an Audible kind of format. The other thing you have to kind of watch for as you're checking them out is make sure you get a downloadable audio and not a CD audio, because those are two different options.
Right. Good point.
Now, do you have to renew the books if you listen to them online, the same way you would if you got a physical copy from the library, or can you keep it as long as you want?
Well, a little, I don't know if you've been to the library recently, but they've taken.
I've been there literally probably 2 years.
Well, especially since the pandemic, they've taken just letting you keep them about as long as you want. They will renew them automatically unless you, the library will, unless you instruct them otherwise. If somebody else requests that on a hold, then they say you've got to bring it back. But
No, that's so neat. I'm thinking about so many college students too as well, who sometimes get the books online from the local library. Sometimes you have to like read through them lightning speed in order to get it done
Yeah.
at the turn. But that's nice that there's a breathing room. You can take your time to dig into your literature. That's actually a nice little change. Wow.
Well, it's not the library that I remember from my childhood, with the lady with the stamp and and
Right.
at you and does your mommy know you're here kind of a person. They are very user friendly over at the Beverly, at least. I'm sure the others as well, but the one that I know.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question. Unfortunately, I have a hard stop today because I got to do a Zoom meeting right after this one. So it's my Zoom day.
I mean, you kind of mentioned, I'm looking in the chat, there's not any fresh question, but one question that comes up, you mentioned exercise programs, and it's the new year, everyone's trying to be mindful of what they're consuming. What are some really good ones that you're recommending? I think you mentioned one, if I'm not mistaken, but what are some really good ones, especially for tracking and for recording exercise programs?
I didn't mention exercise, but there are some that do that. My Android smartwatch does that. It tracks my steps, it tracks my heart rate, all that kind of stuff. So smartwatches are great for that. There are some good apps that if you're outside walking, you map where you're going to walk, what your path's going to be, and it'll track you and tell you how many steps and stuff. But again, if you I looked at a couple last night, I just didn't do anything more with them. If you go to the Play Store and look for fitness, I think several things will come up, but I've relied heavily on my smartwatch for tracking my activities.
Got it. And your phone can also track at least the iPhone does this. I believe Android does too as well. It actually tracks your steps on your.
Oh yeah.
Your phone does that too.
You can do that. Absolutely.
Last question, going once, going twice.
Okay, did you guys get a lot out of this today? Thumbs up,
Yes.
thumbs down?
Yes.
Thank you, Melody.
Okay, good. You're welcome. I look forward to seeing you on the safety one when that comes up in February. And look for my slides to come back out to you with annotations for deleting apps, changing your sleep, and the Metra Android 11. And if any of you think of anything else, email me and I'll try to add it.
Yeah, Lillian just said, really great, learned a lot. I agree, Lillian. This was a really good one. One of my favorites we've had thus. They've all been beautiful, but really great questions and very informative. And I love the participation from everyone. So thank you so much, Melody.
Well, as I put this together, I thought this is going to be the fun one.
Yeah, this was a good one. It was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day and have a great week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.